Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Bradley. I'm one of the business advisors here at Bright Red Triangle, and I'm here today to talk to you in a little bit more about pitching. Now, as someone who's run their own business in the past, I have done a lot of pitching in my time, and I can tell you up front that it is a learned skill. With the right technique and the right structure, anybody can learn to pitch successfully. So why do we even need to know how to pitch? Well, pitching can be such a useful skill for many different reasons. The first might be to look to get investment or to get a mentor. The second might be for competitions, to enter competitions to win money or to get recognition for your product or service. The third might be in a networking environment. So if you're able to succinctly explain what your product or service does and why it's unique, then when you're meeting other people, they can really start to understand your product, your service, and your brand. And the third is really for yourself. So doing a pitch and going through the process of doing a pitch can give you a lot of clarity and a lot of confidence and really help you understand what's unique about your business. So think of a pitch as an opportunity for you to learn how to get your business across most effectively. And pitches can come in many different forms. You might have heard of the term elevator pitch before, which is generally a 1-minute pitch, usually to an investor. Also common are 3-minute pitches, which can usually be in the same context. And then you have much longer pitches that might be 30 minutes to an hour when you're maybe talking through your whole business model and looking for some serious investment. The fundamental structure of a good pitch doesn't really change too much. So we can look here and see kind of what the basis of a good pitch looks like. It starts by telling your audience who you are. Then it's what you do, what problem you solve, why you're different, and finishing with an ask. So let's go through those in a bit more detail. Who you are, quite self-explanatory. Introduce yourself, introduce your role within your product, within your company, and really set the context. What you do, tell the audience about your role within the company, but also what the product or service you're selling does. What problem do you solve? So that's really talking about what's unique about your product or service. Why you're different. Think about why somebody would choose to use your product or service over a competitor's. Really try and get that unique selling point across. And then finish with an ask. A lot of people forget this step, but it's really important when you're delivering a pitch to finish with an ask. That might be an ask for investment, or it might be an ask for mentorship or introduction, or for them to follow you on a social media platform. Whatever it is, make sure you ask for it at the end of your pitch. A really important part of pitching is to gear your pitch around your audience. It very much does depend who you're pitching to as to what content you want to get across. So make sure you're catering for your audience in your pitch. If you were pitching to investors, for example, you would want your pitch probably to have quite a lot of facts, a lot of monetary values in to show your sales projections, etc. If you're pitching more at a networking event, you might be trying to get your value across rather than tell people about your sales projections. So it's important to maybe have 2 or 3 versions of your pitch that you're ready to use depending on who your audience is. Just don't be scared to change your pitch accordingly. And final tips when it comes to pitching. It can be really useful to add a hook at the start, such as a did you know? If you can hit them with a really hard, powerful fact at the start of your pitch, it can be really impactful and it can really get people's attention. Try to include industry statistics or market size if you can, just so you can set some context around the market that you're operating in. Include sales numbers and projections. So once again, if you're trying to get someone's interest, if you can say, I have sold X amount of product or delivered X amount of service, or if you haven't launched yet, we project that we will sell X, Y, Z, that can be really effective. Make sure that you speak slowly and time your pitch. 1 minute goes really fast, and it's very easy to start speaking and basically have word vomit. So it's really important that you do a lot of practice and succinct your pitch, make it as clear as possible, and use only the words that you need to. Practice on your friends and family, or record yourself and watch it back. That can be really effective. Always end with an ask. As we mentioned before, it's really important that people know what you want at the end of your pitch. Smile. You'd be surprised how many people forget to smile. Breathe. Once again, if you're breathing, you're going to talk more slowly. And use your hands. You may have seen my hands popping up in this little window here, but hands are really expressive and they can be a really great way of getting your point across. Make sure you try and get in the zone before your pitch as well. People have their own methods of doing this. For me, it's listening to a motivational music track. For others, it might be reading a quote or just taking some time away to meditate and get some mindfulness and get in the zone. Whatever your thing is, make sure you do it so you can feel as confident as possible. And finally, just make sure you research your audience. We've talked on this one as well. It's really important to understand exactly who you're pitching to. So, if you're in a room full of important people, check them out on LinkedIn first, check them out on their company pages. If there's a personal line you can get in there regarding one of the people you're pitching to, that makes your pitch even more powerful. So just make sure you always remember to relate your pitch to your audience.